The Pittsburgh Steelers thought they had a clear plan: wait for Aaron Rodgers, get his answer, and build the team around him. But now, that plan is breaking apart in real time. Rodgers still has not made a decision about playing in 2026, and the closer the NFL draft gets, the more pressure builds. This is not just a delay anymore. This silence is forcing the Steelers into a move they never wanted to make, and it could change their entire future. The situation comes down to one simple truth: Aaron Rodgers has not committed to playing next season. There is no deadline, no clear signal, and no timeline. That leaves the Steelers stuck in the middle of two completely different paths. They cannot fully prepare for either one, and that is where the real problem begins. A franchise that is known for stability is now dealing with uncertainty at the most important position on the field. Inside the team, the uncertainty is already clear. Linebacker Patrick Queen said the situation is 50-50. That is not speculation from outside voices. That is coming from a player inside the locker room. When players start speaking like that, it tells you something important. It means they do not expect a quick answer. It means the team is not operating with confidence about its direction, and that feeling spreads fast. Now bring your focus back to the timing. The NFL draft is not flexible. Teams must make decisions when their pick comes up. They cannot wait for a player who has not made up his mind. The Steelers are now being pushed toward a choice without having all the information. That is where mistakes happen, and that is why this situation is so dangerous. And here is what makes it even worse. Other teams picking around them already know what they need. They are locked in. The Steelers are not. That means they could get jumped for the exact player they are considering simply because they hesitated for too long. At the same time, the Steelers are not sitting still. Reports show they are scouting quarterbacks, including Ty Simpson. This is not just routine scouting. This is preparation for a real possibility that Rodgers does not return. But that creates another problem. Simpson is not a guaranteed star. He is a young quarterback with upside, but also risk. Drafting him early would be a major commitment, and the Steelers are not in a position where they can afford to miss. If they get this pick wrong, they are not just losing a player. They are losing time, and in the NFL, time is one of the hardest things to recover. This brings us back to the core issue. The Steelers are being forced into a decision because Rodgers is not giving them one. They are trying to balance two timelines at the same time. One is a win-now plan with a veteran quarterback. The other is a rebuild with a young player. Those two paths require different strategies, different coaching plans, and different expectations. You cannot fully commit to both, and that is why the situation is breaking down. And the longer they try to hold both options open, the more they risk failing at both instead of succeeding at one. The draft pressure keeps building with every passing day. Quarterbacks do not last long on draft night. If the Steelers wait too long, the best options will be gone. Other teams are not waiting for Rodgers. They are making their moves and locking in their future. That puts the Steelers in a position where they may have to reach for a quarterback earlier than planned just to avoid being left without one. This is where the risk becomes clear. If they draft a quarterback early and Rodgers later decides to return, they will have used a valuable pick on a player who may not play right away. That is not ideal for a team trying to compete immediately. On the other hand, if they pass on a quarterback and Rodgers decides not to come back, they could enter the season without a reliable starter. That is an even bigger problem, and one that could cost them the entire year. The impact of this uncertainty goes beyond just the quarterback position. Coaches need to build a system, and that system depends on who is under center. Rodgers brings a certain style of play, one that relies on experience and control at the line of scrimmage. A rookie quarterback needs a different approach, with simpler reads and more support from the coaching staff. Trying to prepare for both at the same time stretches resources and creates confusion. Players feel that confusion as well. They want to know who they are playing with. They want to understand the plan so they can prepare properly. When those answers are not clear, it affects confidence. It affects performance. Even if nobody says it openly, the uncertainty becomes part of the team's mindset. That is not where you want to be heading into a new season. Now, think about Rodgers' position in all of this. He has earned the right to take his time. He has already built a career that gives him that freedom. But his decision carries weight far beyond his own future. The Steelers are building their entire offseason around it, and the longer he waits, the harder it becomes for them to recover. At some point, waiting turns into damage, and the Steelers may already be at that point. As the draft approaches, the pressure will reach its peak. The Steelers will be on the clock with major decisions to make. If the top quarterbacks are still available, they will have to decide whether to take one or trust that Rodgers will return. That moment could define the next several years for the franchise. It is not just about one pick. It is about choosing a direction without knowing if it is the right one. If they choose to draft a quarterback, they are taking control of their future but accepting short-term uncertainty. If they choose to wait for Rodgers, they are betting on a player who has not given them a clear answer. Neither option is safe. Both come with real consequences, and that is why this situation is so tense. The league is not slowing down for the Steelers. Other teams are moving quickly, making trades, and locking in their plans. The Steelers are still waiting, and that gap continues to grow. Every day without a decision increases the risk of falling behind. In a league where small margins matter, that kind of delay can have a big impact. This is why the situation feels like it is shaking the Steelers completely. It is not about headlines or drama, it is about control. The team does not have it right now. They are reacting instead of leading, and that is not where they want to be. For a franchise built on strong decisions, this is a rare and uncomfortable position. The longer this goes on, the more it starts to affect everything around them. Planning becomes guessing. Confidence turns into doubt. And once that shift happens, it is very hard to reverse. As draft night gets closer, the reality becomes harder to ignore. The Steelers will have to act. They cannot wait forever. If Aaron Rodgers does not give them an answer in time, they will be forced to move forward without him. That move may not be perfect, but it will be necessary. That is what makes it a panic move. Not because it is rushed, but because it is made under pressure without full clarity. And decisions made like this often come with long-term consequences that cannot be fixed easily. And here is the part that makes this story even more intense. Even after the draft, Rodgers could still take his time. He could wait and see what the Steelers do. He could make his decision after the team has already committed to a path. If that happens, the Steelers could end up with a plan that does not fully match their reality. That is the risk they are facing right now. Imagine preparing for one direction, then being forced to adjust again after it is too late to fix the first move. So when you look at the situation as a whole, it becomes clear why this matters so much. The Steelers are not just dealing with a player decision, they are dealing with a moment that could shape their future. Every option comes with risk, and every delay makes the decision harder. And here is the deeper concern. If they guess wrong, it does not just affect one season. It could set them back for years, especially at the quarterback position where stability matters more than anything else. In the end, the title says it all. The Steelers are being forced into a move they did not want to make because Aaron Rodgers has not given them an answer. This is not just a waiting game anymore. It is a high-stakes situation where every choice carries weight. And as the clock keeps ticking, the pressure is only getting stronger. The next move they make will not just define this offseason, it will define who they are as a team going forward.